Any second now. Well, hello. Welcome. It's Thursday once again, and we're right on time, actually. And you'll all hear why that's such an amazing feat that we just pulled off. But welcome to the Comics Wellspring live drawing show, Spilled Ink. Of course, I'm your host, Brandon Bloxdorf, and with me today, wonderful, awesome cast, lots of people that have just been on the show before, and it's been super awesome because we have a super special guest, kind of an exclusive guest, I guess, tonight that never gets to hang out with us too much. But first, we have my amazing, astonishing, wonderful, talented co-host, Max Flowers. Hello, Max. How are you?
Hello.
And then with me is Aaron Z. Lee. We know him as Pens and Pedals, returning to the show to come hang out with us once more. Aaron, how are you
Hey,
today?
hey, I'm doing pretty good.
Dude, thanks for coming to hang out. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show and to see what you're cooking up. Are you still working on the Halloween story?
Yes, I'm cranking on it. I'm trying to get like in early August, uh, send it to the printer in early August. So I believe I can do
Ooh.
it.
Ooh, love to hear that, man. That's so sick. And of course we have another guest joining in just a moment, which will be here right now. But we have Rick Lopez also hanging out with us tonight. I heard him skateboarding on his way home. Hello,
Uh,
Rick, if you want to pop in real fast.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey,
Hey, are you skateboarding?
Not at the moment. I think you heard something
Oh,
else, but I'm just
oh,
getting I'm just getting set up.
oh, nice. Okay, cool. That's super rad, dude. Do you skate? I don't know. I feel like you
Yeah,
do.
definitely. That's
That's
pretty
awesome.
good.
Uh, I just get that vibe. I'm like, you keep it up. You're
Thanks, man.
you're a trooper still. Yeah, Javi Martinez is gonna hop in. I just picked up um Javi a few minutes ago from the metro, and he bust down here because we're going to Warp Tour together this weekend. So I'm
oh,
super
sick.
hyped to hang
Hell yeah,
with him.
dude.
Yeah. So Javi will pop in. T'Challa, what happened to your food, dude? Why'd you knock it over? Just found my cat's food everywhere up here. Gosh. You have food, my guy. Here, look at this. Well, guys, how is everyone? Aaron, what have you been up to? What's new in your realm of things?
Uh, oh, well, I've been cranking on the comic stuff. I did get an opportunity that popped up in April. I'm a public school teacher up here in upstate New York, and an opportunity to teach at the high school, our local high school, and also have a focus on teaching graphic arts opened up, and put in a letter of interest and interviewed for it, and got it.
Oh,
Oh
dude,
hell
that's
yeah, that's
sick.
awesome,
Hell
man.
yeah, dude. Congrats.
Thank.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the fall I'll be teaching studio art, foundation and media arts, which is a combination of digital and traditional, and graphic arts 1 and 2. So I'm super excited to be doing that. It's like, that's like when I went to school to be an art teacher. I'm like, man, that would be what I would want to teach. And like 13 years later, it's like I got there. So it's cool.
Man, dude, that's sick, dude. Where are you based out of again?
Uh,
What state?
Oswego, New York, if you know where that is.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
cool, cool, cool.
Like we got a college in our little town. I always say, if New York State is Snoopy's head, I'm the eyeball.
That's right. Yep, that's right for that. Okay. That's super rad, dude.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks.
so congrats on that for sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
of course we'll be
and
teaching
then
comics.
I
You
mean,
got
that's
it.
gonna be, yeah, that's gonna be so rewarding, I feel. I feel like that might even inspire you even more. Or at least like
Oh yeah.
you could put your school work with your work, you know what I mean? Like
Oh
kind of
yes, dude. And I've
that's
got
cool.
these couple of these young kids who like they hand cut and sew like all these old like '90s like Spider-Man and Wolverine stuff onto like big flannel jackets and hoodies and stuff. And they're in 8th grade right now, and I have them, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to the high school, and they're like, oh my god. It's like, yeah, we're gonna be doing some comics.
That's awesome.
So that's pretty rad. I was actually, because it was Wednesday the other day, and we're lucky enough to have like an indie bookstore and a comic shop in Oswego,
Hmm.
and I've known the comic shop people for decades, so I go in there and hang out on Wednesdays. And one of my students, they actually did like this amazing drawing of Carnage that they just gave to me. They're just like, here you go. I'm like, oh, this
Oh,
is awesome,
sick.
thank you. And and they popped into the comic shop and like bought some Magic cards and stuff. But that was like the talk with them and their friends the next day. Were like they like texted each other like, "Oh my God, Mr. Lee's here." And it's like, guys, I don't lie to you. I go to the shop. Like I'm friends with them.
That's amazing. I mean, it's so cool though as a kid seeing that too. Like,
Yeah.
I remember I was like in middle school and I had a science teacher. I lived in El Paso, Texas, so
Yeah.
the Blue Beetle, like the Jaime Reyes version, just came out,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
like he knew I was into comics. And he was like, "Hey, like I heard the superheroes from El Paso, and I'd like to like learn about him. Like, where can I find an issue, or like, can you get me one and help me with that?" And I was like, "Oh, for
Yeah.
sure." I was like, whatever, however you are in sixth, seventh grade, and so I
Yeah.
went to my shop and I bought a copy for my teacher. And I brought it back, and he was like, "Dude, this is insane!" And then he started becoming a customer at that shop, and I thought that was like such a win.
Yeah. That's super cool.
Oh, nice. We got Javi popping in. We're gonna give him a second, let him set up his software and add his iPad in because he's gonna be coloring today.
Nice. Man, doing tones and coloring is so fun.
I'm gonna be doing that next. Once I stop making these pages, I guess. I'm gonna, I'm scanning most of them in already, and I want to figure out coloring because I haven't done coloring on my iPad before.
One thing I always say about coloring, I've said this to my buddy Evan, who I've converted into a comics maker too, is this is my school of thought at least, is you don't have to color naturalistically. I feel like it's better to color expressionistically.
Ooh,
You know what I mean?
no, open that up a bit. Like, explain that a little bit more.
Like like whatever's more expressive for the scene. Like don't get caught up in like drawing realistic or painting realistic colored gravel and grass and the sides of buildings and like it can you can do things like with more expressive marks that like support the people in the scene or if you're using color, like I always think of Dave Stewart, like he'll
Yeah.
change the color in the background according to like the mood or the events in the panel.
Yeah, Hellboy is a great example of that. Which, by the way, Mike Mignola Drawing Monsters is available for free on YouTube. So go watch that while it's up.
Yeah,
But
that's a great plug.
yeah, it was a really great documentary. I've seen it multiple times now. But yeah, I think essentially it's like, if something's green, you don't have to color it green, right? Or something
Right.
is skin, it doesn't have to be skin colored or whatever. Like
Yeah.
things can change, and color is like tone is different because tone is often used to like separate compositions, right?
Yeah.
But cute, like color, like hue, is purely emotional, and you can tell a lot of your story just with color. There's like some really cool like Pixar books that kind of like color map the entire movie, just like the average color of each shot, and then as you go throughout the movie, you get all sorts of cool stuff. Those are really cool to look at. Thank you, baby.
I think like the expressions that
No, we lost him.
Oh dang, yeah. I wonder what happened. Maybe his internet got cut or jumped out
Or
for a
his
second.
phone died or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see how long it takes him to notice too.
Yeah, it's gonna be a moment. Yeah. I love Aaron. Javi's still setting up his iPad right now. But Rick, dude, you have a Heroes Con coming up.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait for Heroes. Dude, I did this like I have three new books that I'm bringing with me, so those are gonna get sent out to North Carolina from Fireball. But then I also did a reprint of Cosmic Cat with Comix Wellspring, of course.
Nice.
So I'll have like a fresh batch of those too at the. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. You're not going this year, right, Aaron? To Heroes?
yeah, I'm probably not gonna go this year, but with the high school schedule, I'm done earlier, so I'm looking at next year because it will
for
be
sure.
More possible.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to SPX in September though.
Right, I remember you
cool.
saying that.
I'll see you guys both there, right?
Yeah, And
Yeah.
Rowan Anton will be there, and then I know Tony McMillan will be there too.
Oh, that's gonna be so
sick.
awesome.
Yeah, so we'll have like a little crew at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll for
Oh,
sure
I'm
at least
excited
pop
for
in for
that.
one day.
Right. Yeah, I went last. I got in last year, and I didn't really fucking know it. Like I knew like a couple people like vaguely, but there was no one I was like really cool with. So it was just like except Brandon. Brandon did show up on Saturday, which was really nice. But other than that, I didn't really know anyone. So this will be cool to actually,
know some
No.
folks.
Yeah.
Is that
So
where
I'm
you
looking
met
forward to it.
Jeff and Colin for the first time?
Jeff, where did I meet him before that? I think Jeff I had met at Heroes Con, but
Oh,
then
yeah.
Colin, yeah, that was the first time I actually got to meet him too, because I didn't realize he was at the first IC3, and I saw his art afterwards, and then I looked at his page. I was like, dude, I'm so bummed, like I missed meeting you, and then we just started talking from there, and we've been really cool.
Yeah, dude, Colin's awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
The fact that he's already pumped out 2 issues too. So proud of him.
Yeah, he put out that second one so quick. I was on his ass. I'm like, dude, you got to finish it.
Nice. I love to hear that. That's so great.
Yes, and they got it right in time for IC3 this year, so it's
Heck
perfect.
Dude, he put in like a lightning order. He got it like right in
Yeah,
time.
he
Like,
did. He
great
got
kid.
his books before I got my books, and I had put them in before the first of that month. But I did put a bigger order, of course, and it was like did extra steps getting like the proofs and shit. He's like, fuck it, no proof at all, just send it.
Yeah.
I have done that before too. Yes.
Yeah, same. It worked. So
Doing that. But I need to put it in order tonight. So I need to be here. I mean, I should have time, but
they're pretty quick.
I always get a proof no matter what. But
That is smart.
it's gonna get easier soon. We have some stuff happening soon. But it'll all get cooler and easier, and we'll have some awesome announcements about everything. I'm so hyped. But in the comments here, before I say too much, John Gennardi said, "Hey guys, cool art you have here there, and also, hey Rick, when is issue 4 of The Power being released?" Ooh,
Oh man, good question, John. It'll definitely be out this year. That's the next thing I'm working on. Basically, I'm getting like the last bit of stuff. Like mostly, I did one commission the other day. I have a few pinups I want to finish before Heroes, and then I'm gonna do this sketch card over I'm gonna do another sketch card commission over this meeting. But once I get back from Heroes, like it's all eyes are on The Power.
Nice.
Initially, I wanted it to be ready for Heroes, but once I like got it all set up and everything, I realized it's gonna be 40 pages, so I'm like, all right, I'm definitely not finishing that before Heroes. So I just got invited to this Comix creator block party in LA.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's that thing that Patton Oswalt runs it with Jordan Blair. I forget his name.
Jordy Belair.
Jordy Belair. It's one, I don't know, I forget. Give me one sec.
Yeah.
that's sick.
That is super cool.
I'm trying to see what. It's funny because Javi's hanging here with me.
Sorry,
I like took up his iPad.
my dog started freaking out. But yeah. So that thing's in November, and ideally, I'm like, okay, maybe I could plan it for November then. So we'll see. It's gonna be done this year sometime. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but I don't have like really any other books that I'm trying to finish because I finished like 2 new minis before this show. I did 2 new minis before IC3, and was like trying to focus on finishing the Cosmic Cat book. So now it's just like, all right, let's finish The Power so we can wrap that up, and then just kind of wrap it up basically. But I have like half of the pencils are already ready basically, like a lot of big spreads and stuff. I kind of
That's sick.
Yeah. So there's a lot of it that's it's ready to go. I just need to get to it. Just trying to finish up this last bit of shit before Heroes, basically. But yes, John, soon this year. Thank you for all your support, John. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, John's awesome.
I hear you. There's pieces of this Halloween special that are from like 2021.
Right. Yeah, I feel that.
That's but now with like getting into SPX, I want to debut something.
Oh yeah, for
good
sure.
and new. So it's like my original deadline for this was like March. Now it's like August. So I've just been like, wake up, ink. Before I go to bed, ink. and
Right.
have a couple minutes at school. Ink.
Yeah, the book I'm working on right now has been bouncing around in my head for.
Hopefully next year it lines up for both of you guys, and Brandon can go to Heroes again too. That sucks that you're not going to be there. I know you got your own shit going on too. It's like, damn.
I'm super hyped. I mean, it was kind of a heartbreaking being like, damn, I can't go this year. But the event I am doing is
Right.
super rad. It's
Yeah, exactly.
there's this bunch of punk activists from it's crazy because it's the 40th anniversary. So when you think that the 80s were 40 years ago, it trips me out saying that. But
Yeah.
like punk activists in the 80s, and they had like Fugazi like play in front of the White House and all this cool stuff when they were doing events back then. And so they're doing a 40th anniversary, and they're doing a bunch of events this summer. So they did a Kickstarter, and this place it's called Positive Force DC if you look them up. But yeah, they did this Kickstarter to like raise funds for these events, and like the one I'm doing it at is at the MLK Library, and
Cool.
I'm super hyped because like our Arsenal like fits great with it for Apollo. Like we have a homage to the Rancid album and Out Come the Comics. We have other music based anthologies, but also like this comic kills fascists at this punk activist event in DC. I feel is going to do great.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious. I hope I have enough inventory, but it's one of those things like if you sell out, that's good. Like that's hope for
Yeah.
that.
Right.
But I'm really excited. I'm really, really hyped. It's gonna be a good time. And then, but next year, I was kind of talking to Eli yesterday, and I was like, maybe we should team up next year for Heroes and figure something out. So maybe who knows? We'll do
Yeah,
something.
that would be awesome.
Yeah, you
My
definitely got to go, man.
my manager at my local comic shop, he's going this year, so I'm a little jealous.
Oh, that's sick. That's always cool to
Yeah,
see
it's
some
just
support
such a
there.
great show.
Like
I've
I
only
didn't
heard good
do
things.
honestly, I didn't do good selling wise because I think where we
I
were,
remember
like
you
where our
saying
booth
that.
was, but
Mm,
everyone else seemed to have good success. But either way, the trip itself and the finances itself are worth it because of the people you're with. And honestly, like this
Yeah.
year, I'm so upset because like Shelly Bond's gonna be there. Like so many of my favorite people in the
Uh,
universe are gonna be there this year. That I would just love to say hi and give them updates on stuff and like show them new books and everything.
oh
But
yeah.
that's why next year I really hope I make it out. Hands down.
Yeah. I
definitely,
mean,
dude.
it was so cool to put like my book in Shelley Bond's hand and be like, much respect.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She has some of our books. I need to give her more though.
She did a book about her time as a radio DJ. No, not
Yeah.
Filth and Grammar. Heavy
Um,
Rotation.
he- Heavy rotation. Yeah. Yeah.
And like my robot guy, he's literally made out of equipment from college radio. So I was like, like I just even if like nothing happens with if you don't even crack it opening it, I just need to know I handed it to you in life at one point because it felt such a kinship to it, you know.
Yeah. And just a volley. Okay, I think we figured out what to do with Javi's stuff.
Nice.
This was interesting.
Now he's actually like there with you, or he's trying to get in on a thing.
Yeah, we're just trying to set up his iPad and it wouldn't screen share. So
Wow.
if I could point my camera towards him, he is literally right here. There he is. Everyone say hi to
Hey.
Javi.
Hello.
There's Javi. Dude, all the cats are up here because they're curious because they're like, Javi's back. What's up, dude? Like, how's it going, my guy?
You're so high tech with the screen sharing. I just point a camera at another computer.
That's literally what we're doing now. I have a little phone holder we're going to try to mess with. Oh, I see what you did here. That's cool. There's some pillows you can maneuver here and shit, too. There you go. Some elbow rest and whatnot, too. All right, let's see here. Add Javi in here. There we go. There we go. Wherever you're comfortable. There we go. Hell yeah. We figured this out. Nice. Yeah, what up, Javi?
Done did it. I made it.
Welcome.
Can you guys hear him talk while I'm talking? Do you
Yeah.
hear like a double voice?
No.
Oh,
No.
cool. That's sick.
Yeah, sounds
All right.
good.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Dope. Because he's like literally right behind me. Um. So what are you working? Oh, you're doing a commission. Do you have the Darth Maul commission? Sick.
Yeah, I'm just kind of fucking with it right now.
So how do you do you share your mindset behind some of that? Do you like how do you start constructing your faces? Like, do you just free flow it? Do you like set up like thumbnails? Like, what's your step by step for something like that, Rick?
I mean, just basic shit. Let's see. Where's my? Let me get my shape real quick. I just want the square. I won't use that old head. I think I just kind of. I mean, like I'll do like the basic shit. Like I'll do lines, especially if you're just looking forward. You know, just kind of figure out where everything's kind of gonna be at. Then maybe I'll get the eye in there. It's all like quick shit. Kind of weird like thinking about it now.
Sick.
When I draw faces, I always think back to the '90s scowl face. You know, with
Oh,
like the
nice. Yeah.
like drawn Wolverine a million times.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. That's the ultimate. Oh my gosh, Booby, there's no room for you up here, dude. Artie Murphy says, "Hi, Javi. These all look dope." And Booby, get off the computer. Get off the
Hey
computer.
Ryan, what's up?
Anybody else ever make like whole teams of superheroes when they were a kid?
I actually, Sally, sorry, I can't find our window anymore. My cat slipped to my computer, and I don't know. There we are. There we are. All right, cool. Sorry. Also, Murgo says, "Good evening." Hello, Murgo.
Good evening.
I never did. I don't know. It's odd. I don't have any like superhero ideas. My computer, Booby, come on.
Well, all my ideas were pretty horrible, but I did have them.
I mean, that's better than nothing.
Yeah, like some character ideas are pretty atrocious, but
Like what?
some I want to know. There's like a big muscle guy. I forget exactly what his name was, but it was like really bad. He was like the puncher or something. It was just really dumb. But I did come up with a character that had a headband and like ski goggles, and I don't ski, and he was like he had like a dog, and they could like shoot energy beams.
That's dope.
At some point, maybe I'll unironically try and do like a one shot of that, but it's just like the echoes of an echo of an echo of Image Comics teams.
It's kind of what we have a book on Apollo called Hyperforce, and it's like heavily influenced on stuff like that. And it's
Oh,
it's
nice.
always fun seeing like the iterations because like iterations of those are just like what Shazam and Superman and Miracle Man. You know what I mean? That was other people's
Yeah.
iterations of those heroes. So it's like I love seeing what other indie people come up with whenever in regards to that. Virgo just said, "I'm writing a superhero comic right now and figuring out a team of characters." Ooh, oh, yeah.
Nice. I've got one. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go for it. Go for it.
I've got one satire hero that I really want to do, but I've got to get some Wesley stuff done. I did some writing work with my buddy Evan that I was talking about earlier. I think I've got like a good name and a good concept, and his origin is like it's like the flip of Spider-Man's origin, kind of, where like Spider-Man wanted to stop the robber, but this guy does, and then in a comedic way. I'll just tease it that way. Who knows when this thing will be done? 2030, I'll call it.
Dude, I know it's crazy how long, like, once you're like making comics and doing stuff and involved with projects, like how long some stuff will take. Because when you really didn't intend for them to take that long, like, and I thought Teenage Babylon would be out by now. It's definitely not. But like for good reasons, stuff happens, like things get. And whatnot. But it's interesting seeing the timelines of creations, and it's also fun seeing an idea a creator had or hearing about it, and it takes like years to come out, but then it eventually does because you're so hyped because you're like, I know you've been wanting this for so long. You have to like fight for these ideas to really get onto your schedule and come to
Oh yeah,
life.
for sure.
Do you kind of feel like that way with the power right now, Rick? Like, you have all this cool stuff going on, you have a bunch of projects, but like you're fighting to get to like, man, I'm trying to do this one thing.
Kind of just feels like that's just feels normal. There's always just like a million things to do, and just trying to get them all done like in the proper time. Trying to get everyone else's shit done by the time I told them I would, which is always super difficult.
No, I can see that. Yeah.
The power, I'm just thankful people still give a shit enough to ask for the fourth issue. Like, it's coming regardless, but it's always nice when people ask me about it because I do want to finish it. It is like a whole different beast than Cosmic Cat. Even Cosmic Cat's pretty straightforward. The power is real tedious, and whereas like a page would take me like maybe like a day to ink it, like some of those pages take me like 3 because there's just so much involved. And like in the third issue, there's a double page that has like almost 70 panels. Like it's just,
Oh wow.
it gets
Damn.
so much, but I don't want to change it, I don't want to like dumb it down because I'm like, oh, I don't want to draw all these panels. I just know it's going to take me forever. So when I like realized it's going to be about 40 pages for that last issue, I was like, okay, that's definitely not coming for Heroes. Like that's like, yeah, a lot. Even just 3 days of inking on some of those pages, and there's a lot of big double page splashes with like geometric shit and
Cool.
all that sort of stuff.
You do so much of that cool geometric stuff too.
Thanks, man. I got I have the second issue of Apex Creator. I did the first issue for IC3, so I'll have the second one for Heroes, and then I just did a Cosmic Cat primer. I think when we talked on our last thing, I talked to you about like an idea of trying to make something, whereas like some people don't want to, they're into the book, but they don't necessarily want to buy the big book yet. And so a couple people bought like the year 2 preview at IC3. So I want to make something to where people can, jump on and grab it and it be small, and they can kind of figure out if they want to like keep going with it, and not it have to be like a year 2 preview where it's, it's supposed to take place right after the first issue. So you're losing some of the context in there a little bit.
Where did the inspo for that story come from? Because it looks very unique versus all three of your projects look uniquely different, the Power and Cosmic Cat and this new one as well, Apex Creator. Um, like where did that inspo kind of come from? Because the way you do your line art on this is way different. The way you're using your blacks is different.
Thanks, man. Colin and Tom Scioli for sure were like Colin Eaton we were talking about
I can see
earlier.
that.
I really loved how they will do all pencils, and like once I started looking at Colin's original art, I'm like, okay, I want to do a book in all pencils like eventually. I didn't even know what it was yet. But like Apex Creator, I drew this cuz like so whatever. I drew like this little sketch of him like on a piece of paper, and it was like the wizard with his helmet, and he's got a cat next to him, of course. And so then I had like I kept seeing in my head the moment when he's like walking on those molecules, and then when he's getting his cat. So like the first issue, he doesn't have his cat, he doesn't have his helmet. His second issue, he'll get his helmet, and then it like previews that he'll have his cat with him in the third one. So just kind of like, I don't know, just hitting those little hallmarks. It's kind of like I don't know. It's a lot of like Vertigo and heavy metal inspiration for sure. A lot of heavy metal with that one, like Mobius and Drule type shit. Yeah. I don't know. And like at first I thought it was just gonna be wordless too, but I'm usually bad about this too. I usually won't put letters down until like I'm ready to ink. I don't write scripts.
Oh.
I just write, you know what I mean? I write in that moment. And I usually have an idea of what's going to be said or whatever, but you know, like, cause, whatever's on the panel is like the last thing that I'm going to write. So, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, and then Cosmic Cat flies away in his ship and then you see him flying away. I'll just say some shit like the all of every, and then he's like flying off.
Yeah, that's very true. That makes sense. I always wondered because in reading Cosmic Cat, I'm always trying to like decipher what your mindset was for some stuff. Like it's because I want to understand it. Like I want to crack it open, you know? Um Not like in a confused like what is this, but like man, what is
I
Rick
understand.
thinking of when he's writing these ideas out, like and putting words to it?
There's definitely like, just like with storytelling in general, it's like this, you're going on like a road trip, you know, and you have these certain spots you're going to hit. But like when I was doing that like when I first started Cosmic Cat, especially, I have like these ideas I want to get to, and just as the story was unfolding, I'd have more ideas and be like, okay, let's do this, and that, and I'd get like extra pages out of it, just thinking of all this other stuff that I still want to happen, you know. And
Yeah.
now we're like, I'm already into the fourth. I'm already like almost done with the fourth year, but yeah, just going back, remastering them, collecting them. So like I can fix words, I can put Chekhov's gun in there and all sorts of
Yeah.
other shit, you know. So it's been really cool. The reception's been nice. No complaints. But yeah,
That's
back
awesome.
to the power. Yeah, it's a whole other beast. So it's a way different fucking thing. I could finish Cosmic Cat pages like in an afternoon, and whereas like the power takes so long.
Yeah, no, yeah, that makes sense. Because you have such a flow with Cosmic Cat too. You know, you have the
For sure.
panels. You do layouts for those. You were telling me, right? Like you have a
Yeah, I have like
pre-planned
that
page.
template. Yeah, it was just all like little stuff I learned over time because it was like tired of ruling them out. Like I would just take like the first one that I made, and then I would just use that on my light pad to get the template for the panels down again.
Nice.
And then eventually I'm just like, why don't I built a digital template. And so I would just scan my thumbnails, put that into there, and then print it out on a sheet, clean those up, and ink it with my light pad. But then I'm like, I need to put the lettering on here too, so I don't have to keep erasing and then losing the lines and doing it over again. So now it has like the lettering lines and the panels.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for us.
So that's really helped, of course.
A million years ago, when I was student teaching, and I got to teach a comics course for that, I took foam core and I took an X-Acto knife and I made a 6-panel grid and a 9-panel grid that you could just like put down on a tabloid sheet and just like trace inside the boxes.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, I haven't done that since, but I felt like that was
Right.
a pretty foolproof way to have the students do grids. Because
My
like
old-
sometimes you get kids who are really good at it, but most are not.
Yeah, it's a little harder.
My old comics teacher would line up all the pages and then use like a pin or like something like that to just punch a hole through the entire stack.
Ooh.
I can't
Yeah.
draw this, dude.
And then you can just rule to the holes in the paper.
Ooh, that's smart. I like that.
Smart. But we might be doing custom blue line options soon too, which would be pretty sick.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a lot of fun for some creators, like just ordering a batch with their branded stuff or panel layouts already made on it. I think it'd be a good idea.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
I think branding, you know what I mean? Like I think that's what makes creators stand out so much. I think that's what makes Rick stand out. Like Aaron, Javi, Max, like your branding behind it all, like who you are as an individual, and you highlight that more and really dive into it. That's when people invest in stuff. Because I feel like people invest just like we do as fans and like artists and writers. People invest in the creators more than their stories,
For sure.
audience wise. And like setting up your branding like that and having that, I don't know, that vibe. And it's kind of difficult to obtain, finding your identity, but it's so vital because it's gonna
Yeah.
really what makes people drive towards you.
Yeah, I love in the comic shop where I am, sometimes people will come in and they'll like just pick up my book, and I'll just happen to be there, and the people who work there be like, "Oh, and the person who made it is right here," and because I have a graphic design background and I've made a bunch of logos and stuff, they'll look at the book and they'll be like, "Oh, this Pens and Pals, is that your publisher? Is that who you go through?" I was like, "Yeah, that's me. It's just me," and they're like, "Oh." It's like, it looks like it's more than just you. It's like, yeah, that's the trick.
Yep.
Right, for sure.
Yeah, that's what. Do you guys all have your books in your local shop?
I do not.
That's a loaded question, but I have my books in shops, just not the one up here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my local shops, they're fucking crazy. So I just don't. I don't deal with them.
Oh, I could get that. Well,
That's a
back
bummer.
home, it wouldn't have worked for my local shop. Like they might have done it just out of support for me, but like they wouldn't
Yeah.
be asking for very many copies at all. You know, because it's not their audience either that gets.
Yeah, totally. I feel
Yeah.
that for sure.
I think that's a big thing too. You know, creators have to watch out for because shops in general, like they could play for you or against you in some ways. Like they could be real
For sure.
discouraging, but or they could be the most encouraging thing in your creative career. Like my old shop back in El Paso, I love All Star Comics. Like Brad is freaking awesome, man. Like coolest dude ever. Gave me the best deals on comics ever because I was a fan. I was a collector. Like some shops just cater to the collector or the fan.
Right, totally.
But like places like Four Color Fantasies, they heavily, you know, focus on the collector and the fan and stuff like that. But they also really do care so much about indie and upcoming and just new comics. They care about comics overall, which is
Yeah.
why they could cater to all those type of people. But yeah, I think, you know, building your audience, that's the hardest part about indie, probably.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
understanding your shop relationships and how those differ from your audience fan relationships and how to like take advantage of both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my local shop did take my books.
It's the momentum. I feel like is just the hardest part for everyone. You know, it like will make or break someone. It's like you can, you know, you just gotta yell into the void for a while until it like kind of like starts echoing back a bit. You're like, okay, this is working. That's why I think shows help because like the algorithm will just trick you all the time to make you think like your shit sucks, and like you'll look at your insights. You're like, no, you're not letting anyone see this shit.
Yeah.
So you know, but like at a show, it's like it's undeniable. You know, so you just kind of. That's why I like shows so much. They're just they always the battery. You know, like at the end of it, you're like, okay, let's get back to work. This isn't for nothing.
Yeah. I just love talking with people about the work, you know?
For sure.
I definitely get a lot of energy from doing shows as well. Like it's almost like a dragon I want to keep chasing. Like especially when they go well.
Sure.
And it's like it's just such a great feeling to just be able to just connect with everyone and like on a personal level and just like really talk to people face to face about the art and everything. That's always such a great feeling.
Yeah. And it's cool like if you're next to some people or if the show is going well or even if it's not going well, to start to create some like positive chaos. Like as a teacher you need to learn benevolent antagonism with your students, right? Like if a kid comes into your class and you know the art is not their favorite class, but you say, "Hey, welcome back to your favorite class. I'm so excited that you're here." And you know they're kind of like, but then they also like kind of laugh because they know you know how they feel, you know, in trying to entertain. Like
Right.
I was doing I was doing drawings of Baby Huey. Are you guys familiar with Baby Huey?
I saw your drawings.
Oh yeah, I posted some of them. So I was like, what's the most off-putting comic and animated character I can think of? It's this giant duck with superhuman strength that wears a baby diaper and a bonnet. Just like this makes me feel bad and weird, but it's very off-putting. So I'm gonna start to do like drawings of Baby Huey and try to like give them away to people and like convince other people to draw like, here's Baby Huey the Barbarian, here's Cable Baby Huey. You know, it's like so
like
it's kind of like
cards almost.
Yeah, so it's like what so even if you're selling stuff, like I don't know, to kind of work from like the anti-tabling perspective. You know, it's like how much can I do before people will be like repulsed and leave? You know, but it's keeps it interesting for me.
Yeah, I like to I it's always funny running into those really weird interactions when you're tabling and stuff because
Yeah,
I recently not too long ago along a lot of the times I'll introduce myself. I'll be like, hey, welcome my friend, this and that, whatever. This one
yeah.
girl, she was just like, what do you mean I'm your friend? We just met. You don't even know me. I was just like, oh, I mean, well, you know me now. Hi, my name is Javi. I tried to introduce myself and I tried to shake her hand and she was like, I'm okay. And I was like, okay, all right.
Oh man.
But
Uh,
but that'll happen.
oh, there's so many
But you
great. Yeah.
and like I find that stuff more funny than not when it happens because it's just like, man, like you're just weird. And it's like, you know what, that's fine.
Really quick, we have Saeem Malik coming in to again. Hey man, good seeing you again. He said, "What's up? Who's the guest today?" Yo, we got Rick Lopez, we got Javi Martinez, and we have our good buddy Aaron Lee, who hangs out known as Pins and Pedals.
True story.
And then we have Bernie Online TV. Hi from Ecuador. Yo,
Oh wow.
hello.
What's
Thanks
up,
for coming
Ecuador?
to hang. Yes.
International
Sure.
audience.
Dude, that is so dope. Yes, hello. Greetings. Glad you're here hanging with us, my dude. Or yeah, yeah. Dude is universal.
Yes.
Um,
Even my
T'Challa,
3-year-old
dude.
daughter now knows dude.
Yeah, right. I ran downstairs real fast to get some blue tape because I'm gonna light box some stuff. Like I got up and T'Challa took my seat already, man. Like it's gonna be a battle for the
Oh yeah.
next. It's
Uh,
like
th- this past year, I don't know if I said it the last time I was on, but I've got offered commissions the first time it shows this past year, and I didn't
oh
even really
cool.
advertise. Yeah, but people were just like, "Hey," because I was like painting and stuff, and they were like, "Oh, would you do commissions?" I was like, "Sure." And the very first one I ever had somebody commissioned me to do was Leslie Gore, the singer from the '60s who did like "It's My Party." Are you familiar with this?
Huh. That's so weird.
It was like the most peculiar request, but I had this giant portrait of David Cronenberg that I had painted, so I was like, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. I did a likeness, so maybe he'll have me do a likeness. But I love that, and it wasn't even an indie show; it was like a full-on like pop culture show. And they're like, "Can you paint Leslie Gore?" And I said, "You know what? You came to the right place."
That's amazing.
And then he like stood over me while I did the entire thing. It's like, man, if I didn't have that like the teacher experience to fall back on, you know, like might have
Yeah.
crumbled under the pressure there because I was feeling it. I was feeling the pressure.
I've only been in that situation once as well, and like they wanted me to draw on their hat, and I was like, oh my god.
What do they want you to
And
draw?
they wanted me to draw Spider-Man on their hat, on like the brim of their hat, and I was
Oh
like, what the
wow.
It's a
so
challenge. That's fun.
yeah, so I just did a quick thing. It was just like him and some Spidey sense on the brim, and he really loved it a lot, so he was happy with it, and to the point that he was like, next time we're at a show together, I'll bring my jacket so you can draw on my jacket. I was like,
Oh
nice.
my god.
Wow, yeah. That's some pressure.
I've seen artists get like commissions to people drawing people's shoes and whatnot, like superhero stuff. I think that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, there's a whole thing about it. Like I'm an old man now, so like I see people drawing on Converse shoes and I'm like, "Oh, this new thing." But it's like an old thing.
Yeah, for real stuff.
Because like one of my cool kids who was wearing like a big Batman '89 jersey today was showing me her new
That's
Converse
right.
platform shoes that she was having people do little drawings on. I was like, that's so cool.
Oh, that's rad. That's rad.
I have a like a Batman '89 hat, and
Yeah.
one of my coworkers actually asked me once, like, oh, that's like, from like Batman, like in the '80s and stuff. Like, but do you remember that? Like, you probably don't remember that, do you? And I was like, No, but I know who Batman is.
Right.
Like I think that's the important thing here.
Yeah. Great. I mean, great branding. That '89
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah, for real. So
That was the logo. I remember getting Batman 1989 on VHS. That was my jam.
oh, nice. Dude, I had it on VHS too, and whenever I see like Diet Coke, do you remember the commercial before, or like
Oh
a hat?
no.
Whenever I was thinking
Oh
of
wait.
like when it has Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck being like, "You need your Warner Brothers baseball cap," and then it has he's like
Oh
drawing it, and it
yeah.
comes into dude, yeah. I don't know. I remember the commercials in the beginning of the VHS for the '89 Batman a lot, and they like I think I watched it so much I could recite them. But there's the Diet Coke one where he's like driving and everything, and like Alfred's talking to him, and he has the Coke with the little bat cape on it flowing in the air.
Man, I'm gonna go back
I
and
love that
watch
stuff.
those.
Dude, yeah, look
I
it up on YouTube. I bet you can find them.
I remember that. It's so funny.
Um,
I always think of like the Batmobile going so fast when he went to the Batcave in that movie, and I watch it back and was like, he's not going that fast.
He just sped
yeah,
that
right.
up.
Um, it's funny. It's crazy, like how like bad but great that movie is at the same time. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's not a horrible movie, but it's like certainly not like great when you rewatch it, think about it. But it's just so it's like top tier nostalgic.
yeah. There is like a sheen of like '80s and '90s production. Like it's like it's just maybe the limitation of the like the high end stuff at the time, but it creates like a sameness to the stuff that was produced in that time. It just has a familiar feel to it that's just like comforting or something,
Yeah,
or or
yeah,
uh, or unpretentious in a certain way. You know?
I can see that.
I definitely see that a lot, and like I think I kind of thought a lot about that the first time I saw like The Lovely Bones, which is like a weird like reference to make, but I remember
Yeah.
when I saw it because that came out in like mid 2000s, and I was like, why does this movie look like it came out in the 90s? And it's like already by that point, like I think it came out 2008, like the same year that Iron Man came out,
Yeah.
and it's like those two movies look nothing alike in terms of like just the camera work or anything like that, or like the camera tech. So it's like that I was like, yeah, this movie looks alive. It was just like made in the 90s, which is just such an there is like a certain vibe and tone to it from that period.
Yeah, or like that's the equipment you could get, and those are the people you could hire, are the people who do that kind of work. And you know,
Yeah, true. Yeah, there you go. Really
which
quick, Bernie on Line TV says tomorrow is the Comic Con Ecuador weekend. Getting my
oh
stuff
okay,
ready, dude. That's so hype.
Nice.
Yeah, tag us on Instagram or something. Love to check out to see what that looks like. Love to check out your stuff. Um, that's so cool. Super excited to hear that. Man, I made a squiggly when I was doing that line for that
yeah,
border. Squiggly line border.
it gives it energy, gives it life.
Momentum. I'm gonna add like an entire roof detail now. I gotta make it all match.
There you go. My mantra for inking lately has been more Dan Green, less Charles Burns.
There you go.
You guys familiar with Dan Green?
I'm not. Let me. I mean, let's see. Maybe I don't know him by name, but I'm looking him up real fast.
He's an inker who worked on the X-Men stuff for a long time. I think he did his best work
Oh,
probably on Mark Silvestri, but very more painterly than like super 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 tight.
oh
So
yeah, I've seen this stuff for sure. Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Looking at this art, I didn't. That's so cool.
yeah, he passed away I think last year, but
2023
oh well, yeah,
August.
feels like last year.
Wow. Gosh, so much of his stuff is so everyone's seen Dan Green stuff. I promise you.
Oh yeah,
Like without knowing it, you know who this guy is. Dang, some of his paintings are astonishing too.
yeah.
This
Oh,
is
he
much
did a
insurance.
great Doctor Strange book.
Yep,
It's called
that was
Into
nice.
Shalabal, or not Shalabal.
Ooh.
What's it called?
Yeah, I know
Whatever.
that's Shambhala.
Shambhala. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta check that out. That looks like a cool book. I haven't seen that one before.
Yeah,
Good
it's
recommendation.
visually it's really cool. He might have done the typography too, but it's like all in calligraphy, so it's notable for that. But it is a kind of a little hard to read, but it is cool.
Dude,
But
my
the visual,
arm is like super itchy because I got stung by a wasp like
oh
2 days
gee,
ago. Dude,
you
I've
should.
never been stung by something before. It was terrifying. Like I didn't know how my body was gonna react. And I was like driving and I was like,
Oh
what's
no.
happening? Yeah, and I'd like pull and like I was like right outside my house too. I was just about to park. And then like my where I live, like it's a street that gets busy. So right in front of my house, I was like gonna swing in. And then I was like, dang it. And because the wasp freaked me out, I went around the corner, but then the entire side of my house was full of cars. And I was like, no. And I had to like go
No.
further down to like a neighbor's. And I jumped out of my car, trying to chase it out. But it's all itchy.
Ugh. Makes me think of that scene in Tommy Boy.
God, dude, yes, right? Dude, Tommy Boy's so great. That's one of my favorite movies ever. I watched that so much as a kid.
Man, I haven't seen that in forever.
Same. It's talk about nostalgic movies. It's
I know, right? Oh,
definitely
it's
that.
us. They're making a new Spaceballs.
I saw
Yeah.
that. Dude, I mean, every day we wake up and I'm still surprised Mel Brooks is alive. That guy's like 98, dude. Like,
98, yeah.
And
yeah.
he's going to be in it.
Yeah. He's coming back as yogurt.
Heck yeah.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. And I mean, fight me all you want for sure. But um I didn't I just rewatched Spaceballs and I didn't think it was like as funny as I remembered. I think I might have just seen it too many times. Like I've watched that movie
Maybe.
extensively. I think I've fried myself out of it. Like I
I think,
knew all of
yeah.
it too well, I feel. You know what I mean? Like I think I did.
Yeah. I gotta watch it again. Maybe we'll see how it goes. But Robin Hood Men in Tights is like one of my wife's absolute favorite movies,
Oh, for
and
sure.
I have to agree, it is
Great
pretty
movie.
great.
I
It
think
is a great movie.
I think like Spaceballs in terms of like parody movies, not hasn't been one of my favorites. Like for me, like since I grew up on them more so, the Scary Movie franchise has always been
Yeah,
my favorite
Oh,
of parody
oh yeah.
movies.
I can see that.
Like when I saw Scream for the first time, I realized how stunted my view was of those movies because of Scary Movie.
Dude, same. Same.
I was like, oh my God, I know so much of this just because of Scary Movie.
yeah.
Like I've kind of seen this before, haven't I?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm doing this so I should just untape this and then done this because I'm just making a mess and making it hard on myself. But hey, I'm gonna erase it anyways. Just guiding lines.
Someday I'll work up the patience to use an Ames guide. My wife got me one for my birthday or Christmas one year, and it just sits unused in my stack of stuff.
I love mine. I can't stop using it. Every time I do digital letters now, I'm like, it's not as good. I should have hand lettered it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bernie on live TV says, sure, what's your IG? Hit up, yeah, the Comics Wellspring Instagram, Comics Wellspring, and then you'll find all of us there too. You'll see us on the post. Hit us all up, my dude. We do this every Thursday night, the same time. So tell all your comic book friends.
Yeah. This kind of thing reminds me of when you hear the image guys will just like call each other while they're inking
Yeah,
Mhm.
and just
yeah, honestly.
get stuff done.
I mean, that's kind of what this is, you know what I mean? Like you always think about like, oh, what do these people talk about? Like what do they well, they worked on stuff and like what ideas or advice were they giving? And this is it. This is the words, this is the advice, these are those
Yeah.
conversations.
Yeah, there's already been
Um
some like good notes for sure.
yeah, every show I'm always shocked. Like honestly, like I feel like doing Max, I mean, you could probably attest. Like, do you feel like a lot more like confident, knowledgeable just in comics in general because of the show? Like, do you feel like you're learning stuff every single week from our guests?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's um, a lot of what I take away from it is like, just like different people's processes and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
And being like, oh yeah, this person does that same thing, and like, oh really, I've seen a lot of people do it this way, you know. Um, but yeah, it's and then like the other thing too is that like just being able to get connected and to talk to everybody and then like have a consistent platform in which to do that with is like absolutely invaluable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love hearing Rick talk about how he doesn't have the final script done when he draws. That's kind of what I do too, because like I'll have an idea of what they're gonna say and I'll have written out like a bad version of the script. But like it's like poetry, right? Like you've got to get across what you need to say in the space that you have. So if you have more space, maybe you could do more words, and if you have less space, you got to get it done in less words.
Yeah. See, I can't
Totally.
work like that. So it's really interesting to hear you guys work that way because I can't work that way. I need to know where my letters are going and be able to put those in beforehand.
Maybe one of these days I'll work in a more professional way.
I don't think either way is more professional. You know what
It's
I
all
mean?
an illusion.
Yeah. I mean, what the freaking Marvel guys, right? They were just
Yeah.
drawing books, and whoever the hell would be like, "Yeah, let's make up a story to go along with this."
But even Todd McFarlane was like, "Yeah, I'll look at all the pages and I'll like reorder them."
Yeah.
It's like, well, that maybe is a bit too much. It's like, whoa, it's that interchangeable.
Right, dude? Like,
I definitely kind of almost I feel like I kind of do like a mix of both. Where it's I kind of try to write a tight script for the most part when I make my stories,
Yeah.
but then I thumbnail everything down to like the bubbles and
Ooh.
everything. I want to know where everything's gonna go. And but I don't ever run that as like a super like tight script. Like once I'm actually lettering or anything like that, like especially come to the lettering stage, by that point when I first started writing the script to when I'm lettering it, like my mindset is completely different. It's like I can think up of a quicker way to say a certain line or whatever that just takes up less space and just
Yeah.
things like that. And it's a really interesting process to be able to like go over your own stuff in such a long period of time, because I don't know how long it takes for you guys to make a certain book. I mean, for me, it can roughly take about like anywhere from at this point now 1 to 3 months to do like 6 to 7 pages completed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of the speed I'm working on. My goal is to do like maybe one new thing in a year.
Yeah, that's definitely would be nice to get to that point.
I kind of go through phases where it's like for a period of time I'm able to just bang out and do a bunch of pages, and
It's
then
just
for a
all about
period
how much you're willing to give up every other fucking thing in your life.
straight up, man. Yeah. It's the
It's
truth.
funny
It's
because
the
you can hear
truth.
the pain in the laugh.
Honestly, all of us are crying inside.
Dude,
Dude, I know because I don't even like I can't even just
do
watch
anything.
stuff anymore. Yeah,
No,
I hate.
just
I know
listen.
Rick's even like this too much. Uh, honestly, you really do. If you want to be on Rick's level,
Ah, stop.
that's true. It's true. Everything. I remember we were talking about it on the show. I was just like, "Do you like miss anything?" And you're just like, "Yeah, like video games were cool at one point, but it's all gone. Don't have any of it." It's like the most. I don't know, man. I admire it. I really do. I really, really do. But it's the same thing like anything. You know what I mean? Like,
I think I've just
I
always been
mean,
obsessive like that about shit.
Yeah.
like it's just discipline and seeing how you position your life. I mean, you could say the same thing about, like, I mean, going vegan, for example. Like, you just have to, like, how much do you want to do a certain aspect? but like you just sacrifice stuff. You just have to
Right.
continue if you want to really hit certain levels. You have to hit there, and with art especially, dude. And keeping up with comics turns out it's really hard. It's like really, it's like really tiring.
I think I'm always fighting all the voices that you hear, like when you start out making comics, and people are like, if you do something big, you're probably not going to get it done. It's probably not going to get done.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll show you the disembodied
For
voices.
sure.
In my head.
Max, when I know you like to do both like physical and digital lettering, but like why do you prefer like the physical over the digital lettering?
The biggest thing is that
Is Max's mic working? Because I haven't heard him say anything this whole time.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, we all hear him.
that's so weird. Yeah, I'm speaking. Anyways, I just like the variation in like hand lettering, right? And then I also like having a physical page that has the letters on it, right? Rather than it just being full art. I like being like, if somebody buys the original art page, they can read that page of the story like completely. Like that's what would be the book. And I don't know. I just like the craft of it. I think it's interesting and unique and less uniform. It feels more real to me.
Yeah, I mean, definitely physical lettering is always going to have way more of like a personal touch to everything. So like, I mean, in the same respect to Rick, that just shows like the discipline that you have of like being able to push like through physical lettering, because depending on the book, that can be a lot.
Oh, it's awful. It's
It can be a lot.
Yeah, it's and like especially if I'm doing it for somebody else and then they
That
hand me a
shit's so
page.
tedious.
Like
Fucking
22.
hurts, too, honestly.
Yeah, if they've got like 22 balloons on a page, it's like fucking, it's hell. It's so bad.
I try to be so conscious of like how the lettering will land on the page. I think as a writer, I always try to really be considerate of that. I don't. I mean, Max has lettered so much of my stuff. Do you feel like that's true? Like, do you think I'm pretty?
Yeah, you're really easy to letter. For
Yeah.
sure.
I really try to like give the artist a lot of room to breathe. And once Max gets it, I mean, even when I write it, I think I'm just trying to be super concise with it, no matter what, to ensure that. Let me. Oh, we lost. There we go. That was switch out.
It's like Mark Twain says, brevity is the soul of wit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I could hear Max now.
Can you hear me now, Rick?
There we go.
Woohoo!
And I can actually see your screen too. Like your screen's just been doing a circle for a while.
Oh, how
Oh,
funny.
wow.
I was like, oh, maybe something's going on with Max.
Max, your internet's been pretty good the last like 2 months.
Yeah, because I got a new computer that can actually
Think it was
handle
my phone.
streaming.
Ooh.
And I have Ethernet. It's a miracle, man. It literally was just that my CPU was getting fried out on my old computer.
I need to use my Ethernet more.
Ethernet is a game changer.
Tonight I should have used it because Javi and I are both streaming. Do you meet Javi and I sound good today? Because we're both streaming
Yeah.
near my Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Wow, that's sick.
I haven't heard any distortion or anything.
Yeah,
Nice.
it doesn't sound like you're in the same room at all.
Wow.
Oh yeah, sweet internet. Anton says, "Hey pals, hey Anton,
Hey.
What's up, Anton?
miss you." Dude, Apollo's planning to do this like project as a team in homage of this other team, and it's gonna be so awesome. I'm so hyped
Apollo
for it.
United. It's going to be your version of Image United.
Oh my gosh, that's what we should do.
There you go.
There you go. I was thinking of like a soccer team right off the top of my head, but yeah, the image stuff that's more relevant. I was like, yeah, we should do a Apollo soccer team.
Oh yeah, that could be fun too.
I'm super down for that.
Apollo Rocket League.
Follow Rocket League. There
Oh
you
my
go.
god. Why do I know that you're just nasty at Rocket League, Max?
I'm not, dude. I'm so bad. I just love the game, but I'm so bad at it, dude.
Just play for
I
the
bet
love
you
of the sport.
if I dedicated to it, I could
Yeah,
probably be pretty okay.
I'd have to like give it time because I'm bad at it. But I just wanted to play as the Batmobile. But but I was just so bad. I was like, I'm not doing this. Dude, T'Challa, man. Well, don't meow at me, dude. I want to sit, dude. Just taking up the entire chair at this point. Like, douchebag. Um, I was gonna ask you guys right now. You know what? I'm just gonna ink this. Like, I'm not even gonna like repencil over it.
Yeah, go for it. Sometimes you got to fly without a net.
Yeah,
As I ink
don't
over
wanna,
my
like-
type pencils.
a couple parts I might repencil first, but a good chunk of this I could just. I'm drawing freaking clone troopers. Like, come on. And my pencils on these first like 2 panels I made, 4 panels are pretty sweet. So there's no reason I need to retrace them. I just gotta focus on this light box. I definitely want a better light box. I've had this one for like 6 years. I got it for like, I think I got it like a like a Five Below or something. I don't know.
You just have to build yourself a light table.
For reals. Just get a glass table with a killer lamp under it.
Yeah.
DIY it, man. You can buy like little LED sheets or
Ooh.
squares of LEDs.
Wow, they make them into sheets? Jesus.
Yeah, it's cool. It's kind of like a, I mean, it's just a pattern of like little squares with like a little LED on it, and then it's like woven
Okay.
into like kind of like a fabric kind of deal.
Gotcha.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I think you should just DIY a light table, honestly.
But I could in my living room. I could just get rid of the table I have now.
Get a glass table and just put a light under it.
Yeah, exactly.
That is intriguing because like this drafting table I've got here is it's glass. So if I get one of those sheets, I could just put a sheet on the underside of this thing.
That'd be sick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's pretty
that's what
cool.
I was thinking.
I was watching Adam Savage, the guy from MythBusters, and he was making himself a new workbench, and that's where I saw that like LED fabric stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But he put it underneath a giant block of like essentially like cutting board material, right?
Okay.
And so then when the light goes through that, it scatters, and then is super super bright, and it also like is a great surface to cut on or to do anything on because it's cutting board material.
Wow.
I don't think it'd be nice to draw on, but
No, but definitely
it was
for
cool.
like, that's like way more applicable for like, say if you were just having to cut a bunch of zines or something like that, that'd be pretty nice.
Oh, for sure.
Well, that's another thing I have coming up. I'm doing a comics workshop at my public library this Saturday and then the Saturday afterwards.
Ooh. Dude, let me know about that. Keep me posted. I'd love to hear more about it.
Yeah. We did it.
And then
we did it. Yeah. Go ahead.
I would say maybe we work some stuff out when panels comes out, and if you want to help with workshops and whatnot, I'm going to be doing stuff like that here in my local library and whatnot too.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, we're gonna do like a zine format this year because last year we got a really big grant actually from New York State, and this year we also got one, but it's about like half. So we're just gonna take on the production of that ourselves. But so we'll be like emphasizing like black and white and stuff. But last year we had a really good turnout. Like we had like 8 years old to 80, show up, which was
That's
wild.
awesome.
Yeah, and like the older people are talking about like Herculoids, and then you get your kids who like still know Ninja Turtles and
cool.
Pokemon, and then you have a couple local ringers who are like, oh, I don't know these guys, and then they start to draw, and you're like, whoa, these guys are really good. Like, where have these guys
Sick.
been?
Wow.
But we'll see how it goes. I mean, it'll be fun no matter what. But I'm like restructuring it a little bit because I talk about art, like the history of comics and all the formal elements. I'm gonna restructure a little bit to like get them into making stuff sooner. I think,
Yeah.
like even making like a silly drawing and like doing one speech bubble, and it's like, bam, there we go. That's comics.
Yeah, I in my area, they did like a little mini comic class. And they set it up really well because they like broke, there's what, 8 panels, and they kind of made it really easy for the audience to complete at least their idea and map it out and like start the comic, because they were like, all right, think of like a visual, like it was like a sight, a sound, like you kind of put senses to the panels, and then you think of like a certain moment in your life, and you just think of that one singular moment, and then you just kind of showcase it through those panels. And
That's cool.
everybody like nearly finished it, which is really cool. I even have mine still. I really would love to make it into a comic. That was before I tried doing all this, so I should dig up that idea.
That's really
Do
cool.
you-
Just like all moment to moment.
Yeah.
Do you know about like Scott McCloud's idea that like a one panel comic can't exist?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh
Do you
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you believe in that? And then do you think that Scott actually believes in that?
I think Scott is being very like specific, like heavily specific by definition on everything on that. So like in all technicality, how he defines it, that's where that conclusion comes from.
Yeah.
But like personally, like I feel like if there's words and a picture, that's like a comic. I mean, it's
Yeah.
because you can see the movement in your head kind of as well.
Right. I feel like I've seen him make a few statements on it where he's like, I don't actually like. There's a difference between sequential art and then what we colloquially call like comics,
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, and then the other thing that he differentiates too is like, it could very much still be an illustration in a comic style,
Yeah.
but it doesn't make it sequential art, which I think I tend to agree with. I don't think that a single panel comic is necessarily sequential art, but I do think that it's a comic nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is then interesting because then you have to go back and be like, well, then like, what are comics? Why is it different than sequential art?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like it's more of like what is the general idea of comics versus what does this specifically define, if you want to be as accurate and scientific. If you'll be scientific about it. Like
Yeah.
where does this take you?
Or it's like maybe it's like cartooning would be a better word. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because cartoons can still technically be one panel, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And even with that, like when does like storyboarding almost like to the extent of that sequential art, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's so much overlap between people who do comics and storyboarding.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Ooh, I should do like
I did see Scott McCloud talk a couple of years ago, and he did say that he's a little bit more flexible on like so many of these things that were controversial back in the day.
Yeah.
He's more amenable to hearing arguments or like other perspectives on stuff.
Because I don't know if he actually believed it to begin with. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think a part of it is being a little ostensible and obnoxious about it. Like,
I think also, like if I remember correctly, in like at least the first a book of his, like Understanding Comics, like he did say like, you know, this can change years from now when like people read this. So I think he also like maybe while he didn't fully believe in what he was saying then, was still also accepting like, hey, things can like will change, and like what we look at comics now is always going to be different in the future. And I think it's like more as we get into like where we are now in comics in the space, where, you know, with the pandemic being like one of the biggest years for comics and things like that, like in terms of readership and things of that, like they're as big as they've ever been in a long time. And I think the whole definition of comics is just like so contextual. It's just like if you want to call something a comic, it's probably a comic. Like even like memes can be comics. And it's
Yeah,
like,
that's what I say to my kids too.
so I think
Yeah.
I think it's just so widely applicable nowadays than it ever was.
He even showed like just panels in sequence and like a PowerPoint like of comic panels. And he's like, I don't know if this is comics, but it certainly does feel very comic like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, you
it's
can put a PowerPoint, that's it.
yeah, I love the guy because he's such a formalist that he
Yeah.
just has to like challenge everything, you know.
Yeah.
But he's not doing any of it like to be like serious or like annoying. He's just like trying to prove a point of like, you know, all
Yeah.
of this stuff is highly debatable and like doesn't really matter. You know, we can go over and think about it all a bunch, but like at the end of the day, like there are no rules, and you just have to break them all the time, even though there are no rules.
Yeah.
And I will attest because working at Comics Wellspring, I've seen some of the stuff we've gotten in, and it. I think we would all question if it was a comic or not, but you know what? It is printed in a comic book format, so and presented that way. So, you know, let your imagination go wild, and I think that's what comics are great for, imagination. Because, I mean, well, I mean, webtoons. You know, if you think of that Scott McCloud way, is that even a comic at that point? Like, it's just a scroll. Like,
Wasn't he one of the first ones to talk about like
Yeah,
scroll?
he was. And I think the second book that he did was a lot more about like web comics and digital
Yeah.
comics and what that format could look like, you know.
Yeah, he lamented the low resolution of the one of the things that he made in that era.
Yeah, and he thought he thought that they would never work.
Yeah,
And he
well,
was
it's interesting.
happily mistaken.
yeah.
Dude, we treat these like how-to comic books like scientific papers sometimes, and I love it. Like it just
Dude.
it's always fun.
I mean, he's the guy, right? He's the guy that kind of started like the academic comics paper.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
what I loved. I mean, that's why I was so hyped for panels and whatnot, because
Yeah.
I loved craft books. I love stuff like that. Anything to just like give you more insight. I'm somebody that needs to like really understand something for me to like wrap my head around some stuff. And so like having these type of things and like seeing the creators like do it, it's so great. I mean, I have my favorites too. What are some of your guys' favorite, like your go-to crafts or ones you don't really like in general?
I really love Drawing Words and Writing Pictures by Matt Madden and Jessica Abel.
Ooh.
I'm gonna get flack for saying I hate how to draw comics the Marvel way, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's more impressive than it is useful. Because it's like, I like John Buscema's art. This looks cool. But then you like try to draw the figures, and it's like, this is not working for me.
What was the one that you just suggested, Aaron?
Oh, the first one?
Yeah.
Drawing Words and Writing Pictures. It's essentially like a 20-week college course. Jessica Abel, she I mean, they're both awesome cartoonists, but she's like, I think she's the chair of like some art department somewhere. And Matt Madden's cool too, because he came to upstate New York twice, and I got to do a couple workshops with him. But the book is excellent, and I mean, it cites Scott McCloud, it cites all these other people, so it's, you know, it's kind of like standing on the shoulders of giants, but it's put together in a really like nice, digestible way. It's pretty complex too, but like you don't have to do all of it. Like I taught a graphic novel class as an adjunct, and like that's what my textbook was that I used. That I really like that.
I'm gonna get it as I'm editing, panels and kind of growing on new content for it. Like
Yeah,
I've been just like heavily into all these, as many how-to books as possible, and it's fun. It's like
yeah,
going back to school.
yeah. There's some fun exercises in there too, like 3-card Nancy. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
That's a thing
No.
Scott McCloud invented. Are you familiar with the Ernie Bushmiller Nancy cartoon?
Oh no, I don't think so. Not off the top of my
Comic
head,
strip?
at least.
It's really old, but a lot of it is so uniform that you can swap out like the beginnings and endings of like 3-panel strips. So and I've actually done this. I separated the Scott McCloud came up with all of this. So you print them out, you cut them up, and then you just give people a whole bunch of cards, and you have them arrange it like interchangeably to like make like a funny story. And if you have a small group of friends or whatever, whoever has the funniest one wins. But
Dude,
it's like it's almost like a comic ad lib.
2 years from now, I'm just like, so Comics Wellspring's putting out a fun little game, and we.
Yeah, do it.
Dude, I hear the dog barking, and I keep on thinking it's Javi's dog, Link, because he'll bark in the background. But Javi's with me, so Link's in there.
Yeah, couldn't be him.
Yeah, it's my dog. There must be like another dog in the street or a cat or something.
I think one of my favorite craft books isn't necessarily like a comic craft book, but it helped me a lot in terms of like storytelling. Is Ursula K. Le Guin's Steering the Craft. That
Ooh.
was like a really good book that like helped me a lot of just learning how to like layer out my stories as a storyteller and like understanding like things about the hero's journey and things of that nature, and just being able to format things in a more concise way.
That's cool.
That's sick. I haven't read that one. I gotta check it out.
I have an idea in a future issue of Wesley to have an English professor actually teaching about the hero's journey, so it'll give me an excuse to actually know what it is, or actually like
Yeah,
study it formally.
Yeah, I haven't actually like sat down and read Hero of a Thousand Faces before.
Yeah, I mean that Hero of a Thousand Faces is also like a really just super fun read, and like once you really break it down and even look at something like that, it's like it's almost in the same sense of like Scott McCloud. It's like you can't unsee it. You're like, wow, this is just everywhere.
Yeah, I feel like the alternative to that is to just study Star Wars and understand like Star
Yeah.
Wars really, really well.
Straight up though, right? Like, it's funny because I know all about it. I haven't sat down and read that whole book. It's quite dense, and I never had a class where I was forced to read it, which was shocking. I always thought I would. It was even on an agenda for like one of my classes, and we just never read it. And I was like, oh, I just own this book now. I gotta stuff it in stuff. I think one of my favorites is Invisible Ink, because it just talks about structure and pacing and like really great elements in storytelling, and it's just focused on storytelling, and through that, like, you kind of you can flesh out everything from there. I feel like I love most craft books. I enjoy are focused on the storytelling aspect more than like, I guess, how to's
Yeah.
like script writing and stuff like that.
Oh, anything by Shelley Bond is great.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
up tier. It's Bibles.
Filth and Grammar. She also did like an A to Z comics thing that's just like.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I have it. Yeah, in fact, typically it's on my desk. I don't know where.
That's a really good one
yeah.
because it's just right down to business.
Yeah, it's a really great little breakdown of everything, and it's a fun little just reference, like reminder, like think of this when you do comics and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I had it handy.
Nate Picos from Blambot. His lettering book is great too.
I have it. I haven't tried to start to it though.
It's one I
have
need
no
to
idea
read
what it's
closer.
about.
But I have improved my lettering slightly from having like read some sections.
And I wish I could remember like the God, because I've read like a couple of color theory books now, but like they all just sound the same. Really, it's just like understanding colors, color understanding.
Oh, yeah.
Color understandment.
I would check out Color and Light. I believe it's by James Gurney.
That one I have read. That one is super solid.
That
It's
one,
understanding color and light. Like,
but and it's less about like color theory and more just about like how to imagine light sources and then paint something out of your head accordingly.
Yeah, it's a great like way to help you start something. Essentially, it's like it because it doesn't. If I remember correctly, Max, it doesn't have like any exercises in it or anything, right?
No, it's probably just like James Gurney like painting dinosaur birds and shit. You know,
Yeah,
Will
so
Eisner's
it's just
sequential art is so good, Carl.
yeah.
I got that from my library and poured over it for a very long amount of time. Let me grab Color and Light. Although it's already 4. Wow. Okay. Or I guess it's 4 of my time.
Yeah, it's all like 8 p.m. over here.
But I'll
Yeah,
be right
no,
back. I'm gonna grab Color and
the
Light.
Eisner books are magnificent.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a minute since I've read those. Those are on my docket though. I have both of them. I have like, you know, it's interesting because they got revised so many times too. So it really does depend on the edition you have. I found out.
Yeah.
But you know what? The Miller Eisner, like it's just a conversation book where they're just talking to each other. A journalist like is with them. They recorded their whole feed. That's an amazing book. Like if you just want insight and just like, oh, dude, it's so good. I could just read that book over and over.
I do love the interview books. There's in the studio. Have you seen that book? Where
In
they
the
have
studio? No.
with
Oh
interviews
yeah,
with
I've seen it. I don't have it, but it's another Eisner book, isn't it?
I can't remember if Eisner's in there, but there's a ton of people. I think like Mike Mignola's in there. I think
Yeah.
Will Eisner's in there. I'd have to look at it again, but I really enjoyed it when I read it. Jeez. Oh my god.
Color
10
and
years
Light.
ago?
Yeah. And so the majority of the book is like just looking at how artists have used
Wow.
light historically, right? And then like just the archetypes of like how you use light in a painterly way, you know. Here's night scenes. But it's I mean, there's some stuff that's like really technical about like, oh, here's how like light works. But a lot of it is just like understanding value and you know, edge lighting and how powerful like throwing everything into darks can be and then throwing like really bright whites.
yeah, it's a great like starting book for like color theory stuff for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
reflected light.
like once you really start getting into color theory and you start getting into like the ones that have the these exercises and things like that, like building your own color wheel and things like that, that's when you start really like getting involved with like messing around with colors. And that
Here's your color wheels.
yeah, I had so much fun, man. I miss that.
Yeah, I think you make a color wheel once and then you're probably pretty good. I think a lot
Oh no,
more,
definitely.
yeah, I think a lot more of it just comes from experimenting and learning.
Practice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember making a color wheel in a painting class, and I wasn't happy with how it came out the first time, so I redid it, and I redid it twice, and each time it was worse. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
That oil paint's hard to control.
This is cool. It's like colored light, you know.
Ooh, yeah, it's like the cover of New Order's technique.
You take a plaster head and then use like a colored light and then one in one direction, one in another.
Ooh, that's really cool. I'm like bookmarking these ideas for like my new classes that I get to teach because that would be a really cool project.
Yeah, here's like pre-mixing, which is like duotone essentially. You know, it's like here's your shadows, here's your lights. One is each in each color. You know, and then you can probably overlay that with whatever you need to.
Triceratops. There you go. I can talk.
Yeah.
I think Rick is frozen. I don't know how long Rick has been frozen. Oh no, he's not. All right, cool. I was just, I looked up and I was staring for a minute, and I was like, I haven't. It's not moving. But yeah, no, he's good. He's good. He's alive.
Oh, here you go. Color scripting. In a sequential art form such as a graphic novel, illustrated book, or animated film, no color scheme stands alone. Every page, panel, or frame must be seen in relation to the one that precedes and follows it. You know, so you have a page and the entire scene is blue, you know, and then you throw one red panel into it, it's going to stand out and be different and have a different energy to it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what he's trying to get at there.
I mean, I definitely even thinking about like the background color of like your panels and stuff is always interesting. Like the like my favorite example always is like Mr. Miracle, where like with whenever they're on Earth, the pages are white, but whenever they're on New Genesis, the pages are black.
Yeah.
And it's just like a simple like visual like language of just like understanding where you are is different than where you were before.
Yeah.
All together now. Yeah.
I did that with my graphic novel, The Was of the Robot, Dark Ages. When he's in the Dark Ages, all the panel borders are black, and then when he's not, they're in white.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And it's like that's stuff that maybe people don't think about, but like it just hits that like psychological thing in your brain that just clicks for the reader, especially when they're actually paying attention.
Oh, it's
and
just
once they
visual.
realize it, yeah, hyped. You know what I mean? They get so excited when they're like, "Oh, Jay, look what they're doing here." That makes it so much more like it's something to help them discover, and discovering stuff in comics is such a pleasure.
I think half the people don't even realize it, but understand it subconsciously. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Because color is just so visceral that, like, you know, you see red and it's danger or it's passion or it's love, and like you just automatically know that.
Yeah. I have some friends that I met through other friends who live out in like Rochester, which is just a little bit west of me. But Fred C. Stressing and Meg Casey, they're both amazing colorists. But Fred C. Stressing has done a lot of stuff for like Invader Zim and what's the other thing? Rick and Morty. And he's doing it like a Doughboys comic right now. I'm not familiar with Doughboys really, except that he's doing it. But they're like a married comics team. And Meg Casey does a lot of his colors, and they are like amazing. They shared.
I gotta check that out.
I think colorists are underappreciated.
Oh, by far.
A good colorist, you know.
Yeah.
They're behind so many of the books you love.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like Jordi Belair, right?
What?
Like Jordi Belair, taking it all the way back to that Patton Oswalt thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jordi Belair is great.
I think a big one right now is Mike Spicer too. He's doing freaking everything.
I think also another one like Jorge Mendes is really good at his colors. Like he really just has such a good like mix of like neutral flat tones throughout a lot of his coloring. It's so interesting to me. Like he brings such an anime vibe to it.
Does anybody follow Jose Villaruba?
Oh yeah.
He's dope. I've loved his stuff since like it first popped up on like the Marvel stuff, like when he was coloring Jay Lee. and he'll post his process and stuff. I blame that era, him and David Mack, for me like loving watercolor so much.
You like
Right,
Tyler
dude,
Crook?
I get him confused with Tyler Kirkham. I can't remember any work off the top of my head.
Oh, shoot, what's he done? He does I mostly actually I don't read much of his books, but he does a show, I like a YouTube show on Fridays, and I love that.
Ooh. And he does watercolor stuff?
Yes, yeah, a lot.
Gotta check that out. Tyler Kirk, like how it sounds.
Tyler Crook.
Tyler Crook. Oh wait, that is I know I've heard it before.
Let me see.
One of these days, I'm gonna do a book in watercolor. I don't know when that'll be.
The Lonesome Hunters. He did Harrow County.
Oh, Harrow County. That's what I know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Stone King. He's done some Hellboy related stuff, some BPRD.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, that lo-fi is really hitting now.
Yeah, I forget how like important it is to these streams.
Oh, it's not bad.
Especially like today. Like I'm tired today. I had a crazy busy work day, and then I picked up Javi, which it was super chill going to pick him up. But then when you're coming home and like when so many people commute to DC, the drive home was like double the drive there.
Yeah.
And we got here like 10 minutes before the stream. We like made a sandwich and like jumped on.
Yeah, the only reason I'm awake is because I got my my coffee cup.
Oh yeah, do you have coffee?
Yeah, I had.
I rushed up here.
Oh, my side. Don't we go get your coffee from you?
I gotta get it anyways because I gotta charge my phone.
It's Sebastian's on top of you. Yeah, I didn't even have a second coffee, and it's way too late now. I would screw up my entire day tomorrow if I try to have a cup of coffee now. It's crazy. Like when I was younger, and you're like, you could just drink coffee until like 10 p.m. You're like totally good. Nice. Might just ink this for fun for the next what? How much we got? Oh, we got like 20 minutes. Might just pencil another one.
Yeah.
Charger.
I'd love it if I could finish this.
Yeah, I did need it.
Let's see what happens though. The fish took me surprisingly a long time, but the skull took much less time than I thought. So
That's always nice.
Yeah, we'll finish in time or not. I don't know.
That same painting class I was talking about earlier with the color wheel, I remember we had to do a master's copy, and I did a painting of Philip Guston, if you know him. He was an abstract artist, but then he came back around to being a little bit more figurative, like a William de Kooning kind of. But his stuff was very inspired by comics. And he did self-portraits of himself as like a giant eyeball, like looking at a wine bottle, because he might have had some substance issues. I don't know for sure. But I was working on recreating that one, and I was working on it, and then I looked at it, I was like, I think I'm done, and I was like, yeah, I'm done, and I got an A on it, so I was like, all right, rock and roll.
So it's interesting knowing when something's done. You know what I mean? Like that feeling is so. It's fun. We're like, oh, there you go. I shouldn't do any more.
Yeah, it is wild too, because like especially like making comics or any kind of creative pursuit, you're like dug in. We're like, this, I'm gonna make this good. I'm gonna have the patience and the fortitude to stick it out and make this good. And then like when you're just working along, you're like, oh wait, this is good, and it's done. Oh, okay. I'm done. Nice.
Well, and then you look at it like 3 months later, and you're like, "What was I thinking, man?"
That's real.
That's when you have to choke out that part of your brain. Go away.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, I hear it too, so I got you.
Well, I guess the real answer is you don't choke it out. The real answer is you listen to it and then say, "Okay, next time." You know.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. I honor the effort that I made before by not changing it.
And next time I will not do that.
Yes.
And then you inevitably do. And then you're like,
Yeah.
okay. But that's why art or any kind of like creative endeavor in general, right, is so magical, and why it's such like a lifelong pursuit.
Yeah.
It's because it's never going to be quite right.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while before I get good at this, dude. It's like, this shit's rough.
Just because I've been talking about that painting class, I had to take a figure drawing class. Dude, that was like a sporting event because like you get the model in front of you and then you only get like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour drawing. And the professor he was awesome, but also very intimidating.
Yeah, that sounds like a figure drawing professor.
Yeah, his work is freaking amazing. He would do these giant paintings of like dogs and people and gorillas and stuff, and they'd be photorealistic. And he wouldn't be afraid to just walk around and be like, "That's an ugly line. That's an ugly line." And he said that to me, but you know, like it was also a night class, so like sometimes you're tired. Like everybody has jobs that they're working, everybody has other classes, so like you know, it was like a sport. You know, like you don't like if you're a little bit off, like he'll come around and tell you.
It's the gym, you know. You need that guy to wake you up.
Yeah,
A little bit.
yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah, his name was he's still around, still there. Juan Pedigaro. One of our most prestigious faculties. He's originally from Spain.
What I'm trying to like remember too is being consistent on details to like make sure if I did something on something, I do it again on the next panel.
Oh yes. That one guy did let me skip class once, but it was because I was going to see the Pixies.
Oh, it's sick.
Solid.
Yeah, who's like, I listened to them when I was in college. Yeah, you can miss class. I was like, thank you.
I'd respect somebody. I'd be like, all right, just show me a video when you get back and I'll excuse it.
Yeah.
Like if I was a teacher and someone was like, I'm sorry, I'm in this class, I saw Blink-182, and I'd be like, dude, take the next class off. Like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Have him write a paper about the concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
No, you just have to do life drawing of like the crowd.
Oh, there you go.
Ah.
There you go, Max. Ah. Yeah. Yep. See?
Did you ever actually do that when like if your professor was like, go to some public place and like draw people from life? Would you go do it?
Yeah, I probably would. My wife is yeah.
I might now, but it's so hard. It's so hard. Every time I try, I'm like, there's no point in doing this. I'm not learning anything. Like I just can't do it.
My wife is really good at getting pictures of like what we call Dan Klaus people. Of like
That's cool.
people in public that are just like very interesting and peculiar and kind of
Right.
like stand out. So full disclosure, I probably would just like go back through all the photos she sent me and like pick one of those.
For sure.
Amazing.
But plausible deniability though.
Your wife's like the ultimate creep in like the coolest way, like the most beneficial, like good way for an artist, you know?
Did you have to do this, Brandon, for writing of in that same sense of like write out a scene you overheard in public? Because that was an exercise I had once.
They didn't. I was never an exercise, but it's something that was recommended. But in a practice I used to do, I would just sit at coffee shops and just like listen to conversations and pick up dialogue that way and dialect and figure out how people talk back and forth. And I really tried to like get that down because I feel like that was the most vital thing on making a good comic is just like making that converse. I mean, that's why I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's fight me. But like when you read Chris Claremont's like X-Men, like it doesn't sound like Chris Claremont ever had a conversation with another human in his whole life. But like it's that's where I was like, I really want to get good at this.
I was trying to think of a Claremontism when you mentioned that. It's like with the sum totality of the heart and soul.
It's so ridiculous. I'm not like I haven't read enough to even be a judge, but like the little I have read of that stuff, I wasn't a fan of, to be honest. One day I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, sometimes it's a bit much.
But I wasn't always an X-Men guy, just for the record. I read Grant Morrison's X-Men and I was like, this is all I
Oh
need.
yeah,
Like
correct.
why would I care past this?
Joss Whedon's X-Men is pretty good too.
Oh, I gave that a shot. I just didn't finish it.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it kind of goes in a weird direction, but it started strong. I mean, it's not too terrible overall, but
The only other one I've read really is like the Hickman House of X, Powers of 10 or whatever. It's
that's very strong.
yeah, fabulous, dude. Amazing.
I got pretty far throughout that entire like X-Men saga, like the Krakoa saga, but I never
Yeah.
actually finished it. But like that was like a really good like era for X-Men comics, I thought.
Dude, apparently that was only like Act 1 of what he had planned.
And then like
Yeah, because
editorial.
I mean now
let him
he's
do it.
working.
Yeah.
And they just let him do Ultimate Universe. They're like, all right, fine, at least here's something.
Dude, apparently like Donny Cates was supposed to do this Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimate Universe book, but since he went through all that stuff, like they gave it to Hickman, and that's why Hickman pulled out of X-Men, and he or it's one of the contributing reasons the X-Men he was out of X-Men. He had to pick up this giant project.
Yeah, I did like the redemption they gave to Cyclops to make him a little bit cooler.
Oh yeah, he's finally like a interesting character after a super long time. I feel like for a super long period, like he was just such a boring character. Like there was just not much going on for him. Like he would just kind of show up and people like, oh my gosh, it's Cyclops. But that was it.
Yeah. Did anybody watch X-Men '97?
I never got to finishing it. I really
It's
I
like
haven't
so much
started it
better than
yet.
it has any right to be. Well, I mean, it does have a right to be good, but like, I was shocked at how good it was.
everyone said that. Like I love hearing that too. Like it's just we need to watch it.
Like
We
I'm
haven't been in
talking
that
like,
binging mood.
yeah, like I'm talking like when I watched the first like 2 or 3 episodes, like tears in my eyes like every episode.
It's amazing.
Oh wow.
But I'm also like an old man now too, so like if there's stuff
Oh,
mentioning like kids or like oppression, you know, or like a really good like life affirming speech, I'm like, heck yeah.
Dude, right? Yeah, I get that. Dude, if you want to watch if you have, you have Hulu or whatever, if you want to see something that's really entertaining and just astonishing, like beautiful, and as a creator, as storytellers, like all of us would really appreciate it. It's this performance called In and of Itself. And it's on Hulu. And it's like literally I watch it like once a year because it's like really good. I don't know. It's honestly the greatest storytelling structure you'll ever witness, and it's so apparent. It's so beautiful. But like the end of it, like is going to get you so much. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'll
It's
have to check it out.
yeah, it's amazing. I can't recommend it in and of itself on Hulu. In and of itself, everyone should go watch it. And it's one of those things that starts off and it's like put your phone away, like just put away all distractions, like just live in this for a bit. And yeah, it's really captivating. Frank Oz directed it, so if that gives you
Oh,
any
cool.
incentive.
Yeah, how can you
I
say no to
think
Frank Oz?
yeah, I think one of my favorite like movies or anything like that about like a creator was it came out recently actually. Andrew Garfield's Tick Tick Boom. That
Oh,
was
cool.
like phenomenal. Like it, and you know, I'm not like the biggest musical guy, but like that
Yeah.
was, and I didn't even really know it was about like the guy who made Rent. But like once like
I
it
didn't
gets to
know.
yeah, and once it gets to the end, it's like, yeah, this is his life. I was like, wait, what? I was like, that's insane. And I the whole time I was just like, I feel so seen in this movie. Like as a creator, like this guy's just as crazy as me.
Oh,
That's
I'll
great.
have to
I've been
watch
wanting to
it.
watch that. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
My wife watched it and really liked it. Oh, we just went and saw. Are you guys familiar with Fun Home, the Alison Bechdel graphic novel?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah, so good.
They made that into a musical, it's really good.
What?
Wow.
Yeah,
Gotta
they
check
just
that out,
made
damn.
they locally out here in Syracuse. A friend of mine actually, one of the music teachers in my building, she played Alison Bechdel in the graphic novel or in the
Oh
play.
wow.
So and
Sick.
they did an awesome job. I saw it in New York City a million years ago, and I thought the one that they did locally was like easily just as good.
It's
But
amazing.
yeah, really like fun, but also like really powerful little play.
Uh,
Or well, it's a musical.
Ooh. I had caught on a little bit before, but I didn't know you were like so close, like New York based. Because like I have family out in Middletown and stuff.
Well, I'm in like upstate New York. Is sometimes I need help with the geography because I'm very familiar with like where I am, but I know there's like all kinds of other places. Is that like more like
Right.
Hudson
It's
Valley
like
or
yeah, Hudson Valley.
okay? Yeah, I have some friends who have family down there. My brother-in-law lives in Queens.
Yeah, I'm Queens based myself.
Oh heck yeah,
Yeah, man.
Queens is cool.
Yeah, I actually just got to show someone Queens for the first time, and they were like losing their mind over like the trains going above ground and stuff. I was like, yep, we got
Yeah,
that here.
and
Yeah, it's
I
super
mean
cool.
you live there, so you know better than I do. But the vibe I got from Queens is that like there's families and like real people. Like, you know,
I I've always seen Queens as like the suburbs of the city, and like even still, Queens is like a lot in itself, depending on where you're at. But like in such a busy place like it is, Queens is the suburbs.
yeah, I got that vibe from like the limited amount of time I've been there, and I like that. As opposed to like, I can't relate to like the super high expensive stuff in like Manhattan and whatever.
Yeah, I I could never do it. I like Queens too much.
Yeah,
Yeah, Queens is dope. It was really nice. Like that whole entire vibe there is really, really great. It's probably one of my favorite spots. That like, I guess I really like the Bushwick area in Brooklyn where one of my friends lives, and but Queens is just cozy. There's a lot to do.
yeah. There's the Museum of Moving Image, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just having like a pier you could just chill on and just like, I'm just gonna draw like this. I could see why artists can just sit there and draw buildings, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh
why could
yeah,
you not?
I think even for like I don't know if I've told you this before, Brandon, but like a lot of people tell me that like that first panel I have for CyberSync, for my story in there, and a lot of people think I like drew that off of a landscape of New York City. I was like, no, I just kind of did
Oh,
whatever, but it's like, living in New York City, I just constantly surrounded by it, so it just kind of comes naturally whenever I draw buildings.
That makes sense. We might be going down there this summer just to visit. I don't know yet.
Nice. I might go up to New York again for New York Comic Con. We might do a panel there, so I'll find out about that.
A panel on panels.
Panel on panel. We should. That'd be so much fun. I'd love to do workshops for panels. But no, this announcement we're part of, we might do a panel for that, so it'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Because San Diego's too soon. But I'd be down if they sent me. I'd be down. I fucking love San Diego. Dude. But what was I gonna say? I don't know. New York events. I think they're just so much fun. They're so. That's why I like seeing what Javi does and what Javi does. You do so much in New York and so many different types of shows, and that's what I really admire because like it gives me ideas on what to do locally in my town. But you have to kind of see what they do at these events to really get good ideas. But now that like I don't know, you do so many art shows and things like that. Like there's a few venues around here. I bet I could get stuff started and do little local cons.
Yeah, I think
Oh, right.
someone mentioned it earlier that like not doing as many indie cons nowadays. I definitely living like in the city, like I take advantage of the fact that there's all different types of art events and shows where it's like I can be the unicorn at those events where it's like everyone else is selling like knickknacks, trinkets, or whatever the case is, and then it's like comics. It's like whoa.
Yeah.
And that really like surprises people a lot of the times.
There's
Yeah,
this. There's this thing in Rochester called the Small Press Book Fair. I think they just rebranded, but it's more about just like indie publishing and not specifically comics. And I did that. Well, I got into it 1 year, and it was super cool because everybody there is really cool. And I think I just released like my trade paperback, and that's the only show I've ever like sold out at. And
wow.
Nice.
probably because I was like the unicorn, right? Like I had a graphic novel, and nobody else had that.
Exactly. That's why I don't know. I'm kind of not doing comic cons this year because I want to see if that might be a better way to dip in and make it worth it. And honestly, like, dude, if Positive Force DC pays off, that'd be so sweet because like that's a free table. And sometimes when you get involved in some of these events, you could kind of get in like sneakily and it make it more worth it.
Yeah.
I think just the hardest thing would be just getting there, which isn't bad. I mean, if you get paid for it, so gotta make the
free
gig,
table
man.
is nice.
Yeah, I mean, my library, dude. I did better at my library than I did at Bix.
Oh, it's wild.
BCS.
Our
For a
best-
2-hour event.
Yeah, our best show in OC is a free table at a library.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And every year it's so good. Oh, I guess I don't know. I haven't been in at least 2 years now. So
Sure.
My local shop let me do a signing in their shop one time. I think I made $300, and it's like a 5-minute drive from my house.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I wish I could just do this every day. That'd be awesome.
Right.
I don't do so well at at shows that are at comic book shops.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't do well. Maybe it was just the shop I did it at or the crowd. I don't know.
I think next time we do it for Apollo, we're gonna hype it up way more because I think we could have done way better. But now I know a few others. I accepted it today because I just set it up. I'm doing an event at kind of a art gallery next weekend or next Wednesday from like 6 to 8.
Ooh.
But it's at this comic shop that's next to this like gallery or this art committee.
Ooh,
And so they have
cool.
a bunch of comic art up. Like I got to put a piece in
Ooh.
there, and there's like Matt Wagner has stuff in there and
Oh,
whatnot.
whoa.
Like, really cool. A lot of collectible stuff, but it's all comic based. So I'm pretty hyped to. I want to see how that pays off because again, like I'm getting hooked up for it because of the shop, and being like a guest. And I'm like, okay, cool. If that pays for gas and some food and a little extra, then sweet.
Yeah.
But we're hitting our 2 hour mark. I feel like we're just getting like really cozy too right now and hitting that mark. So we'll kind of go roundtable real quick
Yeah.
and sign off a little bit. So why don't we start with you, Aaron?
Okay.
You know the
Yeah.
drill. Promote what you want. Any events, anything you got going on, anything you want us to know.
Well, let's see. I'm going to be doing that comics workshop on Saturday this week and next week, and then I've got Small Press Expo coming up. I do have a Pens and Pedals Etsy store where I have the Dark Ages graphic novel for Snow individual issue, Princess Pizza little mini graphic novel, and Creep of the Crop, which is my little horror zine. So all that stuff is out there. Pens and Pedals on all social media and stuff. If you want to see me working on stuff. And this is what I ended up with today. I actually got a lot more done than I thought I would today.
Oh, that's great, dude.
You got these Wesley and Beatrice like waiting in line at the rustic bar and coffee house here, and Beatrice will be saying something witty to Wesley that it will be charming and funny. You got the adjusting her glasses there, trying to do some like natural type movement and stuff. Sort of getting this guy looking at his phone. And
What are you doing?
oh, I'm just signing off of this podcast
Why?
because that's what you do when it's over.
Oh,
Anyway. Oh boy.
That's so cute.
Yeah. So I'm all done signing off. Yeah, this is fun. Thanks for having me.
Always, dude. Thank you so much. Oh, it's always having you a blast on the show. I really appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah.
Hell
If
yeah.
summer's coming up, I can do it even more.
Nice. Well, I mean, yeah, you're more than welcome anytime. The more the merrier on this show, as always. And I love having everyone come on. Sweet, dude. We'll bounce over to Rick real fast. Rick, why don't you let us know what you're up to? Anything you want to announce and promote? I think he stepped away for just a quick moment. We'll get back to him. Let's do Max. Why don't you hop up there?
Thank you guys for watching. Come back and watch every week. We have a ton of fun doing the show. I'm trying to finish up these fishes before the local art festival hits. I still need to do a bunch of lettering here, and then do all the hand folding for the greeting cards that I turn these into. But yeah, just stay tuned, and got a lot of cool stuff coming. So thanks for hanging out.
A lot of our previous guests we're going to be reaching out to get pieces for. We're putting together a little spilled ink zine. It probably come in a 2-parter or something. We'll see how it turns out. Or just like a really big book that we'll figure out. But yeah, I'm really hyped for that. Max worked on the cover on a previous episode. I'll be doing one soon, so I'll be really hyped to pump that out. Javi, why don't you give any shout outs you want to?
Yeah. You can follow me on Javi_Blink on IG. That is also my website, javiblink.com. Yeah, I also have a podcast, Earth Mind Matter. We're always uploading as much as we can for that. Having a lot of fun with it always. And I've been working on a little homage that I don't know if Rick is back, but I think he would appreciate this. Just working.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
A little Cosmic Cat homage. But yeah, that's me.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Javi. And yeah, you know what? Super hyped. Thank you all for joining and being here today. Stay tuned for some cool announcements from Comix Wellspring. I'm really hyped for everything that's going on. And sorry, I just dropped my pen at the worst time. And yeah, just stay tuned. We're going to be announcing a lot and reaching out to a lot of creators. So keep is this show every Thursday night? Yes, every Thursday night, 6:30 to 8:30 EST. And we bring on guests. And if you know what, you guys want to come draw with us, like shoot me a message on the CWS Instagram, and we'll bring you on the show. We'll add you to the group chat. But yeah, just hit me up if you have any questions about CWS and anything you have going on, anything I could help you out with orders and whatnot. And we'll give you guys some cool things that you will all be excited for very soon. Can't wait for the coming weeks. Other than that, check out Apollo City Comics at ApolloCityComics.com. We have some new merch up. We got a coffee mug up, dude. It's so sick. Go get yourself a Apollo City Comics
What?
coffee mug. There's some new shirts
Website looks
and
different. It looks a little different too.
oh, it does. It's pretty sweet. We Max and the team worked on an update, which was pretty sweet. Javi chipped away on that too, so
Yeah, it
pretty
looks
hyped.
awesome. I checked it out.
And if you're going to Warp Tour this weekend, come find me and Javi and say hi. That'd be dope. But other than that, catch me at Positive Force DC at the MLK Library, June 21st, next Saturday. Check me out at Main Street Geek in Front Royal, Virginia, next Wednesday, and then the Cannabis Festival in July, which would be really exciting. But that's all the Apollo stuff. And stay tuned for an exciting Kickstarter with some international artists. So hyped. Thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for hanging. That'd be interesting. Good night.